Hello, this is Lucas Palmeira from Imaginando, and I'm here to give you another tutorial on DRC. Today I'm gonna show you how to make 5 sounds from the song Don't Go by the iconic duo Yazoo, composed by the synthesizer genius Vince Clarke and the powerful voice of Alison Moyet. So let's get right into it and start with the bass, which sounds something like this. Okay? And first thing I'm going to do is turn off this utility, which is basically putting the sound on mono, and bring back the default patch. Okay? And first thing we're going to do is drop 1 octave on the first oscillator and change it to a square wave. Raise the second oscillator on the amplifier, go to the second oscillator, drop 2 octaves, and turn sync on. Okay? Now we drop the master to 602. And now we go to the filter. Change the mode of the filter from a low pass 4-pole to a low pass 2-pole filter. Drop the envelope generator 2 amount, the one that controls how much of the envelope generator 2 controls the cutoff of the filter, and drop it to 318. Okay, 19, not 1 point, that makes a difference. Cutoff at 168. Resonance 166. Okay? And now go to the first envelope generator, attack at 0, decay at 500, sustain at 255, release at 218. Second envelope generator, 0, attack, 151 decay. For sustain we have 304. And finally release 310. Last thing we do, we go to the chorus, turn on the chorus, rate at 133, and depth at 833. Okay, now we turn on mono again, and let's go to the second sound. First lead, I have here reverb, turning off, this vinyl distortion, and this equalizer. And now we go back to the default patch, and first thing we do is go to the second oscillator on the amplifier, raise it, go to the second oscillator, drop 1 octave, detune it to 328 on the fine tuning, raise 1 octave on the sub oscillator, and now raise the ring modulator to 809, master at 340. Okay, 340, and pre-gain at 833. Okay, now let's go to the filter, and on the filter we drop the cutoff to 340, and change the filter from a 4-pole to a 2-pole. Raise the resonance to 212, and envelope generator 2 at maximum. Let's go to the VCA and raise keyboard to maximum. This means the higher the note, the higher the volume. And now we go to the first envelope generator, 054 on the attack, 273 on the decay, sustain at 0, 084 for the release. Second envelope generator, the one that controls the cutoff, 042 for the attack, decay at 115, sustain at 304, and release at 310. Okay, now we go to the reverb, raise the amount to 176, decay at 602, damping at maximum, and modulation at 500. Okay. Finally, we go to the chorus, turn the chorus off, drop the rate to 145. And the depth to 888. Okay. Now we can go back to turning on the equalizer, which boosts frequencies around 6k hertz. The reverb. And finally this distortion, which also is making a little bit of distortion around 7k. Like this. We also have, okay. We also have here an utility making the sound mono. And this glue compressor just boosting the sound a little bit. Now let's go to the third lead. Okay, turning off this glue compressor, the utility, and the reverb. Now, opening up DRC, bringing back the default patch. And first thing we're going to do is raise the second oscillator to maximum. Go to the second oscillator, drop 1 octave, and detune it to 2 to 4. And now master at 900. Pregain at 803. And now noise at 490. Now we go to the filter, envelope generator 2 at maximum, drop the cutoff to 378. Resonance at 342. Okay, now for first envelope generator 024 for the attack. Then 500 for the decay, 800 for sustain, and 145 for the release. On the second envelope generator, the one that modulates the cutoff, let's rate to 072 on the attack, 230 on the decay, sustain at 724, and release at 492. Finally, we go to the chorus, turn it on, drop the rate to 097, depth at 766. Okay, now we can turn on the reverb again, put it mono, and turn the glue compressor with a slow attack and a fast release, so we are basically boosting the attack and transience of the sound to make it more punchy. Okay, now let's go to the arpeggiator sound. Okay, and first thing I'm going to do is bring back the default patch. and raise 1 octave on the first oscillator, 291 on the master. Okay. Oh, 91, 291. Pre-gain at 800 and oscillator 1 at maximum. Drop the cutoff to 656. Now go to the chorus, turn it on, rate at 151 and depth at 572. Now, for the first envelope generator, attack at 0, decay at 304, sustain at 0, and release at 164. Now, for the second envelope generator, attack at 0, decay at 230, sustain at 400, and release at 100. So, this arpeggio sound is done. Finally, we go to the swell sound. This raising sound for transitions. Let's now bring back default patch. And first thing we're going to do is raise the second oscillator, go to the second oscillator and detune it to 224. Drop the master to 486. Pre-gain at 846. Go to the sub-oscillator and raise 1 octave, and then raise the sub-oscillator to 639. Finally, we go to the noise and raise it to 620. Okay? Now, on the filter, it's perfect like it is. But we go to the first envelope generator, controlling the amplitude, and raise the attack to 517. Decay at 500, sustain at 800, and release at 042. Okay? Second envelope generator, 0 to 30, 400 on the sustain, and 160 on the release. Okay, perfect. And I think we have everything ready for us to listen to, so bear with me while I get this ready for us to listen. Okay, I think everything is ready now, so let's now listen. And this was it, guys. I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. Remember that we have new content coming up every week. If you like this, please subscribe and give us a like. That means a lot to us. From me, it's goodbye, and we will see you again next week.